welcome to a RED4 Batrep. This is a 550 point game between the Tau and the Chaos Space Marines. It will be played under the ITC Scenario 2. Have the pages there, which is a relic game. So there is our relic. These two groups are fighting over a piece of ancient Necron technology, and they're going to be trying to get that, as well as the Maelstrom missions that come with the ITC Scenario. We'll take a look at the armies, and then we'll get set up for deployment. 550 points of chaos. They are led by Kharn the Betrayer, holding his mighty gore child in the air, ready to slaughter some fishmen. With him are 5 Khorne berserkers. They all have chain axes, so they got some nice AP4 attacks, and they'll be riding in a rhino with a havoc launcher and just a dozer blade to get through some terrain. Joining them are 6 Chaos Space Marines, no marks, no special weapons, but they all do have a close combat weapon. And as well, we have a Vindicator putting out some big pie plates. No siege shield on, as you can see, and no demonic possession, which is often good. Just a straight up Vindicator, 120 points to try and lay some blasts down and kill these Tau. So let's take a look at the Tau army. 550 points of Tau. They are led by an ethereal. 2 units of Fire Warrior strike teams, 8-man units. They have the bonding knife, and each unit also has a Shazui to give them a boost in leadership. We have a 3-man stealth team with an upgraded Shazvray, and he has a fusion blaster as well as a marker light and target lock, so he can split fire if the need be, and use that fusion blaster maybe on a vehicle, hey, maybe on a Vindicator. We have a Piranha. It's not modeled, but it does have just the burst cannon on it. It's a lot of strength 5 shooting. The only upgrade for this is the point defense targeting relay, which gives it overwatch for weapons strength 5 and less, which are all of its guns. And finally, rounding out the unit are 2 missile sides, 2 broadsides with the high yield missile system and smart missile systems as well. So we will set up for deployment. It is hammer and anvil, so that is this way. We will set up and get ready and roll off to see who deploys first and who gets first turn. All right, deployment is finished. The Tau obviously on this side, the Chaos over here. The Tau won the roll, and so we'll be taking first turn. So you have the broadsides. So they're up on top of this building with their one objective. They were to place in their deployment zone, as well as just kind of a meat blob of some suppressing fire from the 8 Fire Warriors, and the Ethereal is up there as well to give out some powers. Over on the far side, we have the 8 other Strike Team Fire Warriors, and they'll be making a run for the relic. Over on this side, we have the Piranha who's ready to move up, and then the stealth suits will be able to infiltrate. They're about 16 inches away from the Vindicator, so they'll be here hoping to jump out and maybe pop that thing. The Chaos deployment, the Vindicator is right here. He is in the ruins, so he'll get a 4+ save. Hopefully that will keep him alive for the Chaos, or maybe they'll seize the initiative. Kharn is in the Rhino with his Berserkers ready to go out, and then the 6 Chaos Space Marines are also back there, looking to just avoid some gunfire right now and maybe stay alive. So we're going to roll to see if Chaos can seize the initiative, otherwise it will be Tau turn 1. And they do. Turn 1 for Chaos. That is huge, because that is a nice juicy spot for a Vindicator's pie plate. So with that very fortunate seize the initiative roll, it is Chaos turn 1. Going to roll to see which Maelstrom objectives they get for this turn. 5 and 1. So that is hold Maelstrom objective 1. That should be very doable, as it is right there. And number 5 is have a scoring unit at least partially within the enemy deployment zone. Absolutely no chance for that. Forgot to mention the bonus points are first strike, which is destroy an enemy unit in the first turn. Both teams can score that. Table quarters, which will be done at the end of the game, and slay the warlord. So Chaos turn 1 movement phase, very first thing, this Vindicator is looking to go up and drop a big pie plate right onto that group there, but it is in the ruins, so it needs to make a Terrain check. 5 is rolled, so it will move up its 6 inches and get ready to fire. So there he is, moved up. Next, this rhino is going to move forward 6 inches, which brings him up to here, and he's going to pivot just like that, and he should be close enough to capture objective 1. As well, we are going to move these Marines up ahead as well. So the Marines have moved up. They're holding back to stay out of line of sight as they don't have much going for them right now. So let's move on to the shooting phase. Chaos shooting phase. Very first thing to be shot, the Vindicator putting up high plate. 24 inches can just reach right there. So let's roll up a scatter and see what happens. This could be the most important shot of the game, who knows. It's going to move over 1 inch and we'll see how many people that hits. So a great shot. It hits both broadsides and 8 members of the Fire Warrior team, including the Ethereal who's a part of it. There will be 5 up cover up here. So we'll see what kind of wounding can happen. So first, it's Strength 10 AP 2, so wounding on 2s onto the Fire Warriors. 3 1s. So we have 5 wounds, and they'll get 5 up cover for being up there. Look at that. 1 Fire Warrior goes down. A single Fire Warrior from that huge blast. So he's gone. And then on the broadsides, this will double them out. It'll insta-kill them with no feel, no pain, being Strength 10. Looking for 2s. Oh, and they roll a 1. A 5 up cover save or a broadside gets it. And he fails. So a huge kill. The broadside does go down. This rhino is going to fire its Havoc launcher right back into the same spot, into that group of Fire Warriors over there. We're going to put it right on top of the Ethereal's head. So let's roll for the scatter on that. It is twin linked and a direct hit. So we'll measure up and see how many that hits. The blast lands direct hit, so it hits 3 of the Fire Warriors and it hits the broadside as well. It's Strength 5, AP 5. So the 3 Fire Warriors, wounding on 2s. So 2 wounds, 2, 2, 1, wow. And they get their 4 up armor save with that, and they fail both. Coming from the Rhino. 2 guys go down. As well, it wounds the broadside on a 3. They do get the wound, but he has a 2 up armor save. And he makes that. So a little bit of damage done. There's going to be no running from the Chaos Space Marines. They're going to stay put and obviously no assaults. So that is the end of Chaos Turn 1. As for objectives, they will not be getting first strike, so I'm just going to cross it out. But they did hold Maelstrom objective number 1 right there. So they will get that one this turn. Now we can move on to Tau, Turn 1. So just before we roll for objectives, there is a leadership check needed for those Fire Warriors, but they roll on leadership 10 on the Ethereal because of his failure is not an option, and they are just fine. So Tau objectives for turn 1, they're looking at 6 and 2. So hold Maelstrom objective number 2. Once again, that should be pretty easy. And number 6 is have at least 3 of your scoring units and no enemy scoring units at least partially within your deployment zone. They should very easily be able to get that one as well. Stealth suits jumping out and moving up 6. The Piranha is fast, it'll move 12 inches up on the side. We'll do a little shuffle of these Fire Warriors just to kind of move them up and get as much line of sight and shooting ability as we can. No problem there. The broadside's obviously going to sit still. And the Ethereal will move over here because why not? These Fire Warriors here are going to move up and probably keep one guy back just to claim that Maelstrom objective. So these Fire Warriors, very, very brave. The strike team are moving up to try and grab the relic, but they are within 24 inches, so they will get that point for being in the deployment zone. If everyone moved up, let's move into the Tau shooting phase. First things first, this Piranha is just going to flat out, just up out of line of sight. He has up to 12 inches, so he's just going to kind of hang out there. So a huge thing here, the stealth suits are going to use split fire. The Shazvari with the Fusion Blaster is in fusion range to try and pop that Vindicator, and the other two, because it's armor 13 on the front, are going to fire over at the Rhino. So we'll do Jazzray shot first, very important, hitting on a 4, and he misses. All right, we still have a broadside for them. So then we have our burst cannon shots going into the Rhino, same thing, hitting on 4s. Perfectly average hit, and then glancing on 6s on the front armor. They do get 2 glances, there is no cover, so 2 glances on the Rhino. These Fire Warriors here they can't run up because they have to stay in that deployment zone, so 2 of them do have line of sight on the Rhino, so they're going to shoot, hitting on 4s, 1 hit, and glancing on a 6 again. No, they don't do anything. These Fire Warriors up here aren't in range of anything. I did forget to mention that the Ethereal is going to cast his Invocation of the Elements to give everyone within 12 inches a 6+ Feel No Pain. It won't affect the broadside, but might do something for the Fire Warriors and possibly even down there. Not sure how far away they were. I shouldn't have moved the Ethereal over. But now the broadside, he is going to fire. He is in range with his missiles to shoot at the Vindicator. So he will have 4 shots, twin linked, hitting on 4s. So 2 hits so far, and 1 more hit. These are strength 7, so he needs 6s to glance, and he doesn't get anything. And obviously the smart missile system can't hurt anything. Jetpack move to get these guys out of the way in the assault phase. So they are going to move 7 inches, probably cowardly away to hide. Classic Tau strategy, jump out, shoot, jump out again. So that's the end of Tau, turn 1. They were able to grab objective number 2, as well as having 3 units in their scoring zone and obviously no enemies. So they will score both of those in the Maelstrom part of this. Tau, turn 2, their Maelstrom objectives are grab objective number 2, which will be very difficult as it's over there, and they also rolled number 5 again, which is to get into the enemy deployment zone. They're a slower army, probably won't be getting that, but they can work on killing some guys as well as moving towards the relic. So the first thing in the movement phase is this Vindicator is going to move up again 6 inches to take another shot. The Rhino is going to move up, measured, he's going to rotate and head up 6 inches to there. And look out with those guys. He'll actually come back just a little bit, so there's a channel here, and these Space Marines are going to come around the corner and start heading up towards the relic, as well as those Fire Warriors there. So there everybody is, a nice little conga line. Tau doesn't really have any blast, so they're not too worried about that. So we'll move on to the Chaos shooting phase. Vindicator's going to throw the pie plate once again, right on the corner of the broadside here. He'll only maybe hit 1 Fire Warrior, but have to take out that broadside. So let's see the scatter and where it lands. It's a direct hit, so it will come on. It'll hit the broadside and the Ethereal, so 1 in the Fire Warrior group. So the hit on the Fire Warrior, needing a 2, does not wound. Man, this thing rolls a lot of 1s. And the big one on the broadside, that's a wound, a 5-up cover save for that broadside, and he makes it. He stays alive. The Chaos Space Marines can see the Fire Warriors over there, but they're going to run up and try and get closer to that relic, so they're going to be moving up 5 inches. Finally, with the Rhino, the Combi Bolter can't see anything, but the Havoc Launcher can. You can see these 2 guys on the far side, so they're going to drop that Havoc Launcher right there on their heads. So we'll roll for scatter. It's going to come over 2 inches, which might be exactly what they want. We'll take a look. Havoc Launcher comes over 2 inches and ends up hitting 5 of them. A great result. Some of them will get cover saves. So first we roll the wound on 2s as it's strength 5. All of them wound, and I guess cover saves won't matter because they have the 4-up armor save. So they take their 4-up armor, can only kill guys they can see. So 3 wounds, and that is these 3 guys that it can see. So that works out perfectly, and that will be a leadership check for them. It is the end, so we'll see if they are in range to get the Ethereals. Oh, also Feel No Pain. Let's take a look. So they are in range to get the Invocation of the Elements benefits, so they have a 6-up Feel No Pain with this, and one of them does make it, so good for them. Amazingly, it comes back. Bloop! There he is. So they lost 2 of 8, and that's not enough for a leadership check anymore. That is the end of Chaos turn 2. Obviously they weren't able to achieve any of their objectives, so we'll head to Tau turn 2. Tau turn 2, Maelstrom objectives were once again to hold objective number 2, which they'll get, as well as having a scoring unit at least partially in the enemy deployment zone. That could be very easily done by this Piranha. So with that, we'll look up into the movement phase now. We'll start by jumping these guys up again to try and hit that Vindicator. The Ethereal is going to move across and give some of his benefits. His invocation of the element is to, I believe it's called Storm of Fire. So if pulse weapons, which are what the Fire Warriors have, are firing within their half range to rapid fire, they actually get an extra shot. Along with that, we're going to move these Fire Warriors over to kind of go over to where most of the action is. These Fire Warriors are going to move up 6 inches and get ready to do some shooting or go for the relic over here. So the Fire Warriors have moved up, getting ready to rain down some fire on those Chaos Space Marines. And finally, this Piranha is going to scooch ahead 12 inches to shoot in. There's the Piranha. The drones are going to stay in for now because he moved 12 inches, so they can't get out this turn. But they're going to look to give some supporting fire over there as well. With everyone moved, let's move into the Tau shooting phase. First things first, once again, the stealth suits are going to split their fire. The Shazvari with the Fusion Blaster is actually now able to see the side armor of that Vindicator. It's been checked carefully, but that's where it's at. These 2 burst cannons are actually shooting at the front armor, so they won't be able to do any damage, so they're going to split off and shoot over at the Rhino. So first off, the big shot, the Fusion Blaster in fusion range, in melter range, needing a 4 to hit. And they get the hit. So 2 dice armor pen, 8 plus. 3 is just a glance. They glance it. So he's down to 2. Burst cannons into the side of the Rhino, looking to finish it off. Looking for 4s. Get 3, and now just a single 6 to finish that Rhino. And they don't get it either. Terrible shooting. We'll come straight over. The Piranha then is going to put its shots into the side of the Vindicator. So they have a burst cannon, which hits on 4s. 2 hits and needing 6s in that side armor. Get a 6, so it's down to 1. Can the drones do it? 2 pulse carbines, hitting on 5s, but twin linked. So 1 hit so far. 2 hits, and need 1 more 6 to finish off that Vindicator. And they don't get it. So they fail. They put some glances on it, but they fail to blow it up. So we'll see over here, the broadside now is going to have to fire his missiles down into the front of that Vindicator. Broadside firing his missiles, 4 shots twin linked, hitting on 4s, 3 hits, still 3 hits, and needing 1 6 to finish this thing off, and fails to get it. The Vindicator stays alive. These Fire Warriors are going to fire into the Chaos Space Marines. They can see all but the front one. These Fire Warriors are within range of the Ethereal to get the Storm of Fire. They're going to get 18 shots into the Chaos Space Marines. The front guy cannot be seen by any of them, so the first one will go on to their aspiring champion. So hitting on 4s, removing all the misses, and now wounding on 3s. So a whole bunch of wounds. They have a 3-up armor save, and then we'll do lookout sirs. And they pass them all. No damage done by all those shots. Lastly, these Fire Warriors up here are looking down, and they are probably going to fire into that Rhino and see if they can pop it. 5 shots into the Rhino. They don't get the bonus shot because they're not within half range. So 2 hits, needing a 6. It will get cover, and they fail to do so. That is all the shooting for the Tau. So these stealth suits are going to do their jetpack move in the assault phase, and they are going to move back 7 inches again. So we'll move them back, and then we'll get ready for Chaos turn 3. As for objectives, they did achieve both. The Piranha is in the deployment zone and they're on objective 2. So 2 more points in the Maelstrom. Chaos turn 3, they rolled Maelstrom objectives 1 and 5, so that's to hold this objective here and once again get a unit into the enemy deployment zone. I think with the Chaos they're going to lose the Maelstrom Tower, getting all of those. They're very much more mobile, so they're not even going to bother with that. They're going for the Relic now and going to try and start shooting some Tau, maybe get a Slay the Warlord, and who knows, maybe even quarters. That'll be a tough one, so we'll see. So into the movement phase. First off, these Chaos Space Marines are gonna go into difficult terrain, try and get up at that Relic. So 3 inches, we'll see how close that gets them. It was just enough to get in, so they are in possession of that Relic, as well as an opportunity to fire down. Next, this Vindicator is just gonna move up a little bit and just tow this terrain here, just so he can get the, oh, my other guy fell. Just so we can get that 4-up ruin save, but on a 1, he kills himself. Rolls a 4, he's fine. This guy is over here, he keeps falling over. This Rhino was gonna try and pop through here and throw interference, but the Chaos Space Marines got in the way, so he's actually gonna zoom over this way and help deal with this side of the board and the threats that are there. So the Rhino has moved over this way, and Kharn and his Berserkers have popped out. That's everything for movement, so we'll go into the Tau, or the Chaos shooting phase. As always, first things first, pie plate from the Vindicator up onto the broadside, trying to eliminate that threat. We'll roll the scatter, and it is coming forward 7 inches, so we'll see where that lands. After the scatter, it comes right up to here. We see it barely clips one of the Fire Warriors, so we can see if it does anything to him. On a 2, and a 5-up cover save failed, so that Fire Warrior does die. That's not enough for a leadership check. Over here, these Berserkers are going to fire into the Piranha. Kharn has a plasma pistol and they have a crack grenade, so let's see if they can do some damage to it. It will jink. It wants to stay alive for now. So Kharn's going to fire his plasma pistol in. Hits on a 2. He hits, and then it's front armor 11, so looking for a 4. He gets a penetrating hit on a 5. 4-up jinx save for the Piranha, which it makes. One of the other guys, it doesn't really matter who, is going to throw a grenade. A 3 he hits, that's needing a 5 to glance here, and fails to do anything. The Rhino is going to, they're going to fire up into that group over there, again with the Havoc Launcher, placing it right on top of his head. Roll for scatter. Direct hit. So that is going to hit all of them. That's 5, and this wounds on 2s. And they get their 4-up armor save from it. 3 of them fail. That is definitely going to be a leadership check, although with him. But that pretty much nullifies that group, and that Ethereal is in trouble now, especially when it comes to Slay the Warlord, and he gives an extra victory point. Finally, these Chaos Space Marines, we're going to see how many can see and are going to fire over at those Fire Warriors. 5 of these guys can see them, and all but 1 are in rapid fire range. So that's going to be 9 shots into the Fire Warriors, hitting on 3s. A lot of misses. Wounding on 3s. 3 wounds and 4-up save for the Fire Warriors, and they fail all 3. Wow, they're getting knocked down. Stand him back up. So they'll be a leadership check as well, although I'm sure they're within the Ethereal's range. That's going to make it tough to grab that objective. They might have to do something with the drones or the stealth suits over here. That's the end. There are no assaults. As chance would have it, he is within 3 inches of that objective, so they will score that in the Maelstrom. So we'll record that, and we'll go on to Tau, turn 3. So Tau turn 3, just before we go, we do have 2 leadership checks to take. So first, this unit up here, on 10, they're fine, and down here on 10 once again, and they are fine as well. The objectives they rolled are numbers 4 and 6, so that is to destroy an enemy unit, which hopefully they'll be doing somewhere along here, one of these vehicles, and as well to have 3 units in their own deployment zone. So we're going to do a cheeky thing in the movement phase to make sure that happens. So starting with movement phase, this guy is going to move over here, detach himself. Now the ethereal is all on his own, which is pretty risky with everything out there, but they're going to have to go for it to get this objective because the relic's going to be tough. Have to make sure they win the maelstrom. So now we do have 1, 2, 3 units back here. Next, these guys are going to pop forward their 6 inches. There they are, ready to disappoint again. These guys are going to move up. He is going to do his 6 up, feel no pain. This piranha is going to move over a little bit and also drop off the drones. And there they are. These fire warriors are going to move up 6 inches. Moved up, trying to knock out the guy holding the relic. That's everyone move that's going to move, so move into the Tau shooting phase. So starting with the Tau shooting phase, these guys are not going to split fire. They're all going to put their shots into the Vindicator because they can now hit the side armor and hopefully glance it. So first off, the fusion blaster misses. That thing has been abysmal. And now the burst cannons hitting on 4s and now needing just a 6 to glance this thing. It will get cover. They get 2 6s. This thing could be done. He gets his 4 up cover save because those are the rules. And he fails one. So the Vindicator is finally a wreck. And cheers come across the Tau line. These drones here, they are going to fire into the Berserkers. They get 4 shots, hitting on 5s, twin linked. They are pinning, but Berserkers are fearless. 2 hits, 3 hits, wounding on 3s, 2 wounds, and 3 up, power armor save. They are fine. This piranha here is actually going to flat out and kind of get away from the action a little bit. And there he is. This solitary, lone Shazui Fire Warrior is going to fire just 1 shot into that Rhino and see if he can be a hero. Hitting on a 4, definitely not a hero. These 3 guys, they are going to shoot into the one guy they can see, hopefully knocking off the man holding the relic, the Marine, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s, just 2 wounds and a 3 up save for him up there, and he fails it. So he does go down and the relic stays right where it is, not enough for a morale check over there. The broadside, now free of the Vindicator, is going to fire all of his missiles. His smart missile system is in range into the Kharn Berserkers over there, as well as Kharn. He's going to fire the smart missile system first because they're just barely in range, hitting on 4s and twin linked. 4 hits, wounding on 3s, 3 wounds. Kharn will be the second one hit. Looks like he will be first, so he will take his shot, 3 up, and he dies. So now Kharn will look out, sir, on 2 pluses. He makes all 3, and then 3 up saves for the other guys, and they make their saves. Now the broadside is going to fire his strength 7 missiles. It's again hitting on 4s, twin link, so 3 hits, wounding on 2s, 3 wounds. Kharn is once again going to look out, sir, and he does, and then 3 up power armor saves, and they are fine, so just 1 dead. That is all of the shooting that the Tau have. So the suits are going to jump, and then we will go into Chaos turn 4. The stealth suits rolled a 6 for their jetpack move, so they went back behind there. As for objectives, they did get both. They destroyed an enemy unit in the Vindicator, and they have 3 units in the scoring section. Chaos turn 4, they rolled objectives 2 and 6 in the Maelstrom to hold objective number 2, not happening, as well as have 3 units within the deployment zone. That's going to be tricky. They have 2 here that can do it, but they do need to go for that relic, so we'll see what they do. Let's jump into the Chaos movement phase. First thing, this Chaos Rhino is just going to move forward 6 inches and get into range of the Ethereal. These Berserkers are going to move 6 and start to head over towards the relic to maybe help out there as well. So they moved up there. There was a forgotten jetpack move over here with these drones because they can do that. So 5 inches, they're actually going to scurry away 5 inches that way. that did actually affect the Berserker's movement, because they're going to come here, try and assault into there, well, easily assault into there, and then be able to consolidate up and work their way over. Final movement over here is a difficult terrain for these Chaos Space Marines. 6 inches, they're going to pop up there and grab that relic. So there they are, they've climbed up onto the ruined monument and now have that relic in their possession on the guy in the back. So we'll move now into Chaos Shooting. Chaos Shooting, this Rhino is going to put his Havoc Launcher into that lonely little ethereal right on top of his head. Roll for Scatter. That's going to move over 3 inches, which will miss, so they will twin link that. And that's going to go back 2 inches, which will be able to hit because of the size of this. So they will get a hit on that, so they wound him on a 2. It's a wound, and he has his cover save, which he makes. Also has Feel No Pain. Also Snap Fire, the Combi Bolter. It's twin linked as well. And they failed to hit there. These Chaos Space Marines are just going to rapid fire into these meddlesome little fire warriors. So that's going to be 10 shots that they're going to be able to take and see if they can just finish them off. Hitting on 3s. Not a great roll. There hasn't been a lot of great rolls in this game. Wounding on 3s. 3 wounds and 4 up armor. 1 dies, which will be enough for a morale check, but they'll be within range of that ethereal pretty easily. Coming over here, only Kharn is going to shoot as they want to charge in, but he should be able to kill one of these drones. So he hits. Oh, and it gets hot, and he fails his armor save. So instead of just one guy shooting, Kharn takes a wound. So I guess they will fire their 4 bolt pistols. 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. Those are drones. 1 wound, and drones have a 4-up save, and they make the save. So all that happened there was Kharn hurt himself. We'll go into the assault phase. There is a little bit of overwatch from these 2 drones. We'll quickly check to see. There won't be any supporting fire because these stealth suits cannot see. So 4 shots coming in from overwatch, twin linked. No hits, and don't really need to roll, but just for those like 6 inches, they get in. Just before I forget again, there is a leadership check on 10, and they are fine. So over here in the assault, Kharn's going to hit first. He gets 4 attacks plus the charge, so that's 5. Kharn's special rules that he always hits on 2s, but he does hurt his own guys if he rolls any 1s. He rolls 2 1s, I'll figure those out in a second. And he's at strength 7 because of Furious Charge, as well as +1 for his weapon, and it's AP 2. So as long as he only rolls 1 1, they'll be fine. He does still roll a 1, but he does do 2, and that wipes out the drones. So now to deal with the 2 1s he rolled while hitting. This is why he's known as the Betrayer. These 2 hits go randomly onto 2 models. So once again, he is at strength 7, AP 2 with these hits. So 2 wounds, we'll randomly allocate them. There are 4 guys, so we'll do the champion as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then re-roll any 5s or 6s. 2 6s. So 4 and 2. So these 2 guys do die, but they win combat and they will consolidate. Oh, just 1 inch, needed bigger than that. And there they are. Chaos Maelstrom objectives, they got none of them. Couldn't get objective 2 or into the deployment zone. So, on to Tau, turn 4. Tau turn 4, they have objectives 3 and 4, which are both destroy an enemy unit. The way that works is if you destroy your 1 unit, you get 1 point. You have to destroy a second unit to get 2 points. Should be doable, but we'll go into the movement phase. First off, this ethereal is going to move back and join with the broadside so that he can take the wounds instead of the ethereal and keep their warlord alive. This piranha is going to move back just a little bit, and then we will also jump out these stealth suits to maybe try and deal with Kharn, and have these fire warriors do something as well, he may as well just stay put. So a bit of movement, the stealth suits have jumped back so that they're able to split fire around the building into the Rhino and into these guys if they need. Piranha's back here to shoot in. These fire warriors moved over, they don't want to be there just to get assaulted super easily, and they can kind of choose where they want to fire depending on how things go. We do need to destroy enemy units to get these maelstroms. They're not too worried about the relic right now because of the force that's on them. So we'll go into the Tau shooting phase. So starting off with the Tau shooting phase, first thing we're going to split fire. So we're going to put the fusion blaster over into that Rhino. See if he can get his hit on the 4. He does, not within fusion range, so needing a 3 to glance, fails to do so. 2 burst cannons here, going into those guys, hitting on 4s, get hit, wounding on 3s, gets 2 wounds, and those are 3 up armor saves, and they make them. The burst cannon on the Piranha is also going to shoot over into those berserkers, gets 1 hit and a 3 to wound, gets a wound, but they make their save. This guy up here is going to take his single shot into that Rhino, hits, doesn't do anything. This is going to be a little harder now, actually impossible to get both objectives, but the broadside is going to fire into that Rhino and see if he can just deal with him. So he's just going to fire his missiles off. That's 3 hits, twin linked, 4 hits, needing 4s to finish this thing off. He does, he can't blow it up, so that Rhino is a wreck. Finally, we have these 2 guys, and they will rapid fire up into those Chaos Space Marines. They maybe should have fired first into that Rhino, but that's okay. They're going to fire up. They get 1 hit and 1 wound, 3 up save, and it fails. So one of the Chaos Space Marines goes down. That's it for Tau shooting. The suits are going to do their jetpack move of 9 inches, and then we'll see how they do with objectives. And there they are. They destroyed 1 unit in the Rhino, so they'll get 1 point, and that's it. So, going into possibly the last turn of the game, looking forward to Chaos, turn 5. Maelstrom objectives for the Chaos are 1 and 5, so that's hold objective number 1, which is there, but there's really nothing over here that can really grab it. And number 5 is once again in the enemy deployment zone, and with all the vehicles gone, that's not going to happen. So just a couple units here to deal with. We are going to start thinking about table quarters. These Marines are going to move down from there 4 inches, and they're going to start heading over. So they got down and they're heading over. They'll probably shoot up. They can't run with the relic anyways. And Kharn and his 2 guys just moved up over this way. They're actually looking at possibly a charge into the stealth suits over there. We'll go into Chaos shooting. So these Chaos Space Marines are going to fire up into the broadside and the ethereal. They have 7 shots, 3 are within, oh no, they only have 3 shots, not rapid fire range, just who's ever in range. So 3 hits, wounding on 4s, 1 wound, and a 2 up armor save. And he makes it, he's fine, to be expected. Over here, they're going to fire into the stealth suits, so we have 2 bolt pistols coming from the berserkers. 1 hits, and a 4 will be a wound. I can't remember if their toughness 3 or 4, but that's definitely a wound. And they have 3 up armor, which they fail, so one of the stealth suits goes down. Now Kharn is going to shoot across here into there. We'll check his cover to see what happens if he hits. He does hit. It's a plasma pistol, so he will wound. We'll just take a look at cover. So the leader is partially behind cover. He's going to try and look out sir. Either way they'll get a 2+ save, but he'll go for the lookout sir on a 4+. Makes the 4 up, so this burst cannon now with a 2-up cover save makes it and is just fine. That's it for Tau shooting. We are going to have an assault into the stealth suits there. There will be supporting fire for Overwatch from those fire warriors. So we will start with this guy's Fusion Blaster, hitting on a 6. Nope, fails to hit. And then 4 shots from over here, and they miss as well, so it doesn't do anything. We'll roll the charge, and then we'll see if we need to measure it. 11, that's definitely going to be in, so we will pile them in. Here it is, all piled in. This won't go well for the stealth suits. Kharn has issued a challenge, which was accepted, may as well. So he's going to take his 5 attacks. Once again, hitting on 2s. Does get a 1, so we shall see here. And it doesn't wound. On these all hits, so wounding on 2s, no saves. Yeah, they're done. Kharn is actually going to roll on the Chaos Boon table in a moment. I'll let you know what that was, but they'll also do their Consolidate move, which is 2 inches. So they consolidated backwards so that they're able to be in this table quarter in case the game ends. On the Chaos Boon, Kharn rolled and got Stubborn. He's fearless. It's completely and utterly useless. As for objectives, didn't get them, we knew that. So we'll go into Tau, turn 5. So Tau turn 5 is the bottom of 5. An interesting situation is coming up. Looks like Chaos are going to get the Relic, but the Tau easily have the Maelstrom objectives. Neither group got first strike, neither one was able to kill a unit in the first turn. And as for table quarters, right now the way it stands is Chaos own that back corner with these guys. It's all been looked at. These guys right here hold this table corner. The Tau have all of their stuff in this table corner. That's not good. So this Piranha is going to go flying across and grab it so that all 4 table corners will be held, and that one will be a draw. So if the game ends, it will be a draw, but in this turn, they are going to be shooting hard and trying to take out Kharn. That's the goal here, is to put everything they have, which isn't a whole lot, into Kharn so that they can try and win this game just off the Slay the Warlord point. The Ethereal is going to move up, and he's going to attach himself up here in a 6-inch move, and in doing so he's going to do his Invocation of Elements, that is the Storm of Fire, to give an extra shot. These guys are going to move back just a little bit, because why do they need to be so close? And you're going to see this Piranha go across. He's going to move 12 inches. So there is Tau movement, easy enough. The Piranha wasn't able to get over there well enough, so he's going to move another 12 flat out during the shooting phase, so he won't be able to put his burst cannon into that unit there, which is too bad. So now in the shooting phase, we see the Piranha has moved over to grab that table quarter. These Fire Warriors, I'm just going to fire both units at the same time into here. These two get 6 shots because of the Storm of Fire, and he's out of rapid fire range, so he just gets 1. So here they are hitting on 4s. Decent roll. Wounding on 3s. Not bad. And then 3-up saves for everyone there. Oops, dropped his ace. So they do kill 1. They're on their way. All the Tau have left here to do this is the broadside. So 4 of his missiles coming in. Twin linked. These are the big missiles. 3 hits. Wounding on 2s. 2 1s. 3-up save. And he makes it. And then finally, the last thing is the smart missile system. Hitting on 4, so 3 hits so far in twin linked. And wounding on 3s now. Strength 5, AP 5. 2 wounds. 3-up save. Can't kill Kharn. Can't kill anything. So they're able to kill 1 Lonely Berserker. They're fearless. That's all the Tau have. So we're going to see if the game ends here on a dice roll. If it does, it'll end on a 1 or 2. The game will be a draw. It's a 3. We go on to turn 6. Top of turn 6, Chaos turn 6. Objective-wise, it doesn't matter. They only have 2 so far, even killing the Ethereal, which give them a Maelstrom point. The Tau have around 7, so they're not even going to bother. What they are going to do is get risky here and go for Slay the Warlord. So movement phase for the Chaos. These guys over here are just gonna shuffle a little bit, still maintaining their table quarter. Just getting a clear sight to the Ethereal. Over here, this guy is gonna be very uncoin-like and come around, and Kharn is going to move up and try and do something. We'll see what happens. So Chaos shooting phase in turn 6, looking to take care of that Warlord. We're gonna have 4 bolter shots coming in, hitting on 3s. All hits, wounding on 3s. 3 wounds. So the Ethereal is going to look out, sir, on a 2. He does all of them. We'll just roll armor saves because he has a 5 up. Well, I guess we'll do them one at a time. So 4 up, he fails. So now 5 up, cover saves, and he does take a wound. So 1 wound left on that Ethereal. Kharn is going to take his shot. He's got a plasma pistol. Doesn't kill himself. He hits. On a 2, he wounds. He does wound. A 5 up save, or the Ethereal goes down and slay the Warlord, and he fails. Slay the Warlord for Chaos. That would be a Maelstrom point as well, which we can mark, but that won't matter. Slay the Warlord. Obviously no assaulting, so now in Tau turn 6 they have 1 objective, and that is to kill Kharn. Movement phase is quite simple. These guys are going to move back just to make assaulting a little harder on Kharn. This Piranha would love to go into cover, but it's just inside the range of the burst cannon, and obviously the broadside firing down. So shooting phase, 2 rapid fire shots from these fire warriors into Kharn. They hit twice, wounding on 3s, 1 wound, and a 3 up save for Kharn, which he makes. Up next, the Piranha is going to fire its burst cannon. 3 hits, 1 wound, and Kharn makes his save. So all we have left is the broadside. First, the smart missile system, twin linked, so 4 hits, wounding on 3s. Guy can put out a lot of damage. 2 wounds, and Kharn takes a wound, down to 1. So now we have the high yield missile pod. 3 hits with a reroll, 4 hits, wounding on 2s. 4 wounds. Kharn has to make 3 up saves. Let's do it dramatically. Saved. Saved. There it is, the 2. Kharn's ultimate sacrifice doesn't pay off, as the Tau as well get slay the Warlord. No assault moves. So now we will see if the game goes into turn 7. It does not. The game is over. We will calculate up the points and find out who won. Very quickly before points, just to look at what was killed in this game. These 2 vehicles, that Vindicator was, I don't know if it was the MVP for killing, but it took a lot of fire. Those 2 vehicles, and these guys down here, that's it. If you want to look at the Tau's kill pile, look at that, right in front of the fish. Very fitting, that's a lot of dead for the Tau. Calculating up points, Chaos had the Relic. There they are, so that's 4 points. They obtained that Necron Technology. Tau easily won the Maelstrom. You can see all the circles, that's how many points they got, as compared with not too many for the Chaos they started writing down. So that's 4 points, so it was tied 4-4. The bonus points were first strike, which is kill a unit in the first turn. Neither side did that. Table quarters. Tau have this one and that one. Chaos have that one and this one, so that's a draw. And finally, slay the Warlord. And as we saw in turn 6, the Ethereal went down, but Kharn couldn't hold on either, thanks to the just hellacious shooting from the broadside. Killing an Ethereal does give you an extra victory point, but in these ITC games that calculates towards the Maelstrom objectives. So all that being said, we have a tie game, 5-5. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the game, and hope to see you next time on RED4 Batrep.